Alright, what's going on YouTube? This is Revive Slayers, and today we're going to take a look at a Predator's Mark PvP build. First off, sorry if you can hear my fan in the background, but it's pretty warm here and I'm in England and it being warm is quite unusual, so yeah, let's get that out of the way. And also, I just want to say, I'm sure many players have already made this build before. I'm not saying I'm the first fan of this build or whatever, but I have got the pieces for it and I've made a pretty decent build out of it that's really effective, so I do want to share it with you so you can take a look at the build and guide yourself off of it. So yeah, let's get into the build. So this build is meant to be quite annoying as it does inflict huge bleed damage on players. Also, this build has high skill power. It might be a bit harder for you to get high skill power, but if you can get it with the right gear mods, then that's brilliant. So I have a really good heal that has a really small cooldown timer off of it, which is pretty good. Also, I've got a pretty powerful sticky bomb and pulse, so that's also a plus. So yeah, if you like the build, if you felt that the guide was useful, please leave a like on the video. Now let's take a look at Predator's Mark. So this build consists of 4 pieces of Predator Mark, Savage high-end gloves, and Reckless high-end chest piece. You can replace Reckless and Savage gloves if you really want final measure against sticky bombs, but I do like the extra DPS. I know I can get one shot by stickies, but not many people use stickies anymore as they're not that effective. So yeah, let's have a look at Predator's Mark. So 2-piece Predator's Mark, extra 20% extra optimal range. Not exactly a massive, well it's generally not really useful anyway, to be honest. It's just not that useful. It's okay on SMGs, but you shouldn't really be using SMGs at range anyway, and PvP doesn't really happen at range. But the 3-piece bonus for Predator's Mark, plus 800 assault rifle damage and plus 700 pistol damage. Pistol damage isn't exactly useful for PvP unless you like to use your pistol to finish players off as an X45 when players are below 30% health. Is pretty powerful. But the extra assault rifle damage is kind of nice. It's better on the lower damage assault rifles compared to something like the G36, but it is quite nice. Extra DPS there. And the 4-piece bonus. Hitting one target with 10 bullets will make them bleed for 10 bullets of damage from that gun for 10 seconds. So if you hit an enemy player 10 times, every second they're going to basically take an extra bullet of damage for 10 seconds. Which is really powerful. And also, it adds bleed status effect to them so they can't run and they obviously drain health. And the only way to get rid of it is first aid or medkit. Okay, let's get into the gear. So we're going to look at a Predator's Mark mask. You should roll skill power on this. Skill power is the most effective attribute you can get, I suppose, on the mask. It's really good. It gets extra damage on your pulse, etc. You can go for exotic damage resilience or crit chance if you want. You don't really need the crit chance because you've got high crit chance on your gloves. Exotic damage resilience will be nice, but you'll have to stack up other exotic damage resilience on the other pieces as well, which isn't really worth it, in my opinion. Skill attributes, just try and get something what you need, like pulse crit hit damage or sticky bomb damage. It's understandable if you don't really get what you need, but because it is hard, you can obviously only reroll one thing. So let's look at Predator's Mark knee pads. Try and get crit hit damage on these. This is essentially like having 3-piece striker on. But obviously it's not 3-piece striker, but just try and think of it like that. Pretty good DPS increase. I have armor on my knee pads. I can't re-roll this unfortunately, but it does help me get the armor cap, and if you really need to get even more armor to get the armor cap, then just go for it, because now I don't need to use armor gear mods, so I can use even more electronics and stuff like that. Skill attributes, same with all pieces of gear, just try and get what you need. Let's move on to a Predator's Mark backpack. I would recommend going for skill power on this. Again, try and stack up your skill power as much as possible. Skill power is really good. You can get 7 to 8k skill power on backpacks, which is really good. Try and get crit hit damage if you really want to though. It's kind of a nice DPS increase, but if you got skill power then obviously your crit hit damage for your pulse is going to be better anyway, and that's going to affect your whole team. That's going to increase your crit chance too. And again, skill attributes like I already said. Holster, try and roll all your attributes above 700 if you can. This is just so you can get the full effectiveness and efficiency from your holster. If you get all the attributes above 700, it's going to help a lot. Armor, yeah, I would go for armor on your holster, definitely. I always use it to try and hit the armor cap. I always have armor on my holster because there's just not really anything else you can really use. Okay, so next up we got a high-end chest piece. High-end, excuse me. Reckless. This chest piece has the reckless talent. You can use vigorous if you really want to, but it's not exactly. I mean, it's up to you. Vigorous is pretty good, so you can use what's it called? The adrenaline booster shot. First aid, I think it's called, something like that. But obviously, you only get that every now and again, and it does basically put overdose on the booster shot. But reckless, let's look at the talent. Basically, extra damage towards enemies, but also you take slightly more damage. But as you can see, my toughness is still 400k, which is really nice. So, I mean, it's pretty good. I would roll armor on your chest piece. This is also really good for getting the armor cap. I always go for it on my chest piece because it just gives you so much, and it's just essential for hitting the armor cap of 75%. And exotic damage resilience, I would try and go for this on your chest piece as well. It's probably the best other attribute you can roll for PvP. I have damage to elites on my chest piece. That's not going to help in PvP whatsoever. So next up we got high-end gloves, savage gloves. These give you extra crit chance to enemies out of cover. This is a huge DPS increase. You can get to like 14% extra crit chance. Also, I try to roll crit hit chance and damage on your gloves. This is going to help out for DPS a lot too. It's definitely the best for PvP. Also, if you can for this build, try and roll assault rifle damage. My gloves are for PvE. I haven't got proper PvP savage gloves yet. But yeah, assault rifle damage will help you a lot to take more advantage of the free piece bonus with extra assault rifle damage from Predator's Mark. So next up we've got the guns, the weapons of choice. For your primary, I would definitely go for assault rifle just assault rifles. I would definitely recommend the G36, or if you really want to, go for an M4, because it does have a really good fire rate and you're going to get the bleed off a lot faster. So for my G36, I have Brutal, Deadly, Responsive. These are really good DPS talents for PvP. Brutal, obviously extra damage to the head. Deadly, extra critical hit damage. It's going to be really good with the Savage Gloves. And Responsive for extra damage up close, and in PvP you are normally up close anyway, so that's really, really good. I'm not going to go into attachments on this video. I don't want to do that on every single video, but I am going to make a separate video because I know that I play with a lot of friends on Xbox and they certainly struggle with what attachments they should use, and I've got a lot of friends starting the Division lately and they normally just go for attachments that give the most DPS, which is not the right thing to do, so I'm going to make a separate video on that. So let's get into the secondary weapon. I run with an MP7. This is your weapon of choice really. I use my MP7 to chase down enemy players, as I use extra hipfire accuracy on my underbarrel. This is really good so I can jug behind players and hipfire behind them, and also the bleed effect can slow them down. Yeah, it's also just a really good secondary if I really need to, if I need to reload my primary, something like that. So mine has accuracy, brutal, fierce. Accuracy is really good so the bullet bloom just doesn't go absolutely crazy and I'm hitting shots better. Brutal is pretty good. I'd rather have deadly on this though, as I am running up behind players and shooting them in the back, not really going for the head whilst I'm hip firing behind players. And fierce is actually pretty good, seeing as SMGs have pretty good critical hit base damage now as their natural talent. So fierce is obviously going to help get that off. It's not really necessary because the savage gloves and like a pulse, something like that, is obviously going to help a lot. So fierce is only a small increase, but I mean it's there. I'd rather have something else, but it's there. Yeah, so that's the build. Hope this helps. It should have helped, obviously. I wish I had a bit more gameplay, but the servers were dead today, and this is the only day I've actually tried to go for gameplay with this build. That's unfortunate, but hopefully you can see in the background, if you test it out for yourself, you should see that this build is really strong. But yeah, try it out if you can. It's a really good PvP build. Don't really use it in PvE. You should build builds specifically for PvP or a build specifically for PvE. Don't really use them in each different one, if you get what I mean. So if you like the build, if the build helped, if this video helped whatsoever, please leave a like on the video. I really love the support lately. I am a really small channel. I've literally really just started and the support has been amazing. You guys, I mean, I don't know if you like my videos or not, I hope you do. But if you do, please subscribe as well. But I do appreciate the support a lot. But yeah, this has been Revive Slayers. It's been a Predator's Mark PvP build guide. Thanks for watching. I'll see you later.